This is PSN Newsrun, streaming exclusively on YouTube.
Our top stories. Nigeria commemorates Environmental Sanitation Day in Lafia. And United Bank for Africa raised 157 billion naira through Right Issue. All this and more on PSN Newsrun. We begin with environmental matters. To mark the 2025 National Environmental Sanitation Day, the Federal Ministry of Environment has launched a major hygiene awareness campaign in Lafia, urging residents to embrace cleanliness to prevent disease outbreaks. Join Ella for details on this campaign.
The Federal Ministry of Environment, in partnership with the Nasarawa State Government and other key agencies, has launched a major sanitation campaign in Lafia, the state capital, to mark the 2025 National Environmental Sanitation Day. The initiative, themed Safe Sanitation and Hygiene for Disease Prevention, is aimed at improving public hygiene and preventing diseases such as cholera and malaria through community sensitization. Speaking at Lafia Modern Market and Ongwanwa Jenlale, the ministry's permanent secretary, Mahmoud Adam Kambari, represented by Mrs. Omotunde Adeola, emphasized the importance of market cleanliness and personal hygiene. She urged residents, especially women, to maintain clean surroundings, warning that poor sanitation undermines productivity and health. The Nasarawa State Commissioner for Environment, Dr. Margaret Elayo, represented by her permanent secretary, reinforced the message, warning that enforcement teams will now strictly monitor sanitation compliance in communities and marketplaces. Also, lending their voices were representatives from the Environmental Health Council of Nigeria, NASEPA, and the Acracel project. They stressed the need to end open defecation, install toilets at home, wash hands regularly, and actively participate in monthly cleanup exercises. In a heartfelt appeal, the community head of Ongwanwa Jenlale, Baba Seidu, welcomed the campaign but called on the government to address the long-standing erosion problem in the area. The campaign is one of the several events marking the National Environmental Sanitation Day, observed every June 28, with this year's main commemoration held today, July 17, in Lafia. Ella Okichuku, PS News.
In a bid to empower young minds beyond environmental cleanup, HypeRep has launched the second edition of its career enhancement workshop for Ogoni youths in Port Harcourt. Joycelyn files in this report from the treasure base of the nation.
In a renewed push to build the capacity of young people in Ogoniland, the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HypeRep, has kicked off the second edition of its International Career Enhancement and Employability Workshop. The two-day event in Port Harcourt, which targets fresh graduates and students from tertiary institutions in the region. The project coordinator of HypeRep, Professor Neni Barini Zabi, while delivering the welcome address, described the workshop as a continuation of HypeRep's promise to improve the lives of Ogoni people not only through environmental remediation, but also through human capital development.
The first edition of this workshop was held in March 2024, and it was truly remarkable. Therefore, we are excited to build upon these successes to bring you this year's workshop. This workshop reaffirms our commitment to inclusiveness and continuous skills development as strategic pillars in HypeRep's efforts to restore and improve livelihoods in Ogoniland.
Lead facilitator Dr. Odon Akianimo urged participants to focus on building self-reliance. He said the workshop aims to equip young people with practical skills to create their own paths.
The principal framework for career enhancement and employability is still the same. It's about increasing your capacity through volunteering, like Professor Zabi said, but also levels of intentionality. Because most of the time people talk about, there's a bit more focus this year on resource mobilization. So how can you actually develop your own resources? There's an over-dependence on government. That's certainly true. And in several cases, you have access to a lot of resources that can actually enhance your career on your own.
For my session during the workshop, I taught the students of how to secure scholarship and how to write winning research proposals. So I shared the key components of statement of purpose, which is one of the requirements for submitting a winning scholarship application. And one of the activities we did as well was getting the students to brainstorm about some local issues in the Ogoni land that they can apply. They can tap into these issues and begin to apply what they have learned to look for scholarships or fundings around that area. So those
Participants expressed confidence in the impact of the program, noting that it has equipped them with practical approaches to addressing community challenges.
What they were teaching us today is how to compose something, solve problems in the society and also people around you. So at least I've learned a little, and I know from my experience today I can be able to solve some critical issues.
With the second edition now on the way, participants are expected to engage in hands-on session, gain practical career insights, and explore real pathways to employment. As HiPrep continues to integrate youth-focused programs into its broader mandate, attention will remain on measurable outcome skills gained, connections made, and the capacity built for long-term community impact. Reporting for PS News, Joycelyn Ella Keche Ada.
And sadly, another community in Nigeria's north-central region has been hit by deadly violence. This time, it's Tahos village in Plateau State, where at least 20 lives were lost in a brutal overnight raid. Joycelyn's here with more on this report.
The people of Tahos village in Riyom local government area of Plateau State are counting their losses after gunmen stormed the community, killing no fewer than 20 residents and razing multiple homes. Eyewitnesses say the attackers invaded the area late at night, opening fire indiscriminately and setting homes ablaze. The assault left dozens injured and many displaced, with survivors describing the scene as harrowing and traumatizing. Although no group has claimed responsibility, early reports suggest the violence may be linked to the ongoing conflict between herders and farmers, a recurring crisis over access to land and water that has plagued parts of Nigeria's middle belt for years. This latest attack adds to the growing list of security breaches in the country, from banditry in the northwest to communal clashes and extremist insurgencies in the northeast. Nigeria continues to face complex and widespread security challenges. Despite heavy deployment of military and police forces across flashpoints, attacks like this continue to raise questions about the effectiveness of government strategies. While the federal government has repeatedly assured citizens of its commitment to restoring peace, critics argue that more proactive, intelligence-driven measures are needed to prevent such killings. As families in Tahos mourn and the nation reacts to another avoidable tragedy, the call for urgent and lasting security reforms has never been louder. Reporting for PS News, Joycelyn Ella Keche Ada.
And now, on business news, United Bank for Africa is set to raise over 157 billion naira through a rights issue, offering new shares to existing investors to strengthen its capital base. Marianne takes it from here.
The United Bank for Africa (UBA) is set to raise more than 157 billion naira through a rights issue, offering new shares to existing shareholders as part of a capital rising move. According to a disclosure by the Nigerian Exchange Limited, UBA has applied for approval to list over 3.15 billion new ordinary shares at 50 naira per share. The offer will be made on the basis of 1 new share for every 13 shares held, based on the holding as of the qualification date, July 16, 2025. The bank is working with the United Capital Security Limited as its stockbrokers for the transaction. The right issue is aimed at boosting the bank's capital base, supporting expansion, and strengthening its balance sheet. UBA's move comes on the back of strong financial performance. The bank posted a 803.7 billion naira profit before tax in 2024 financial year, a result driven by robust core earnings and improved operational efficiency. With the rising demand for digital infrastructure, regional expansion, and regulatory capital requirements, the fundraising signals UBA's ambition to remain competitive in both local and Pan-African markets. Investors eligible to participate in this offer will be those who held shares at the close of business on July 16, 2025. Marian Awuya, PS News.
From the international desk, Teza tells us Coca-Cola may soon taste a little different in the United States following claims by President Donald Trump that the company has agreed to switch from corn syrup to real cane sugar.
Donald Trump says Coca-Cola has agreed to start using real cane sugar in its United States beverages, replacing high fructose corn syrup. He made the claim in the Truth Social post, thanking the company after what he described as personal talks. Coca-Cola hasn't confirmed a full switch, but says new product details are coming soon. In the United States, Coke is typically sweetened with corn syrup, while in countries like Mexico, it's made with cane sugar, which many say tastes better. Health experts note there's little nutritional difference between the two. Both are added sugars linked to obesity and diabetes. However, some studies suggest high fructose corn syrup may have slightly more negative effects on metabolism. Trump's comments align with his Make America Healthy Again campaign, which encourages food companies to clean up ingredients. But corn industry leaders argue the move could hurt United States farmers and food jobs. For now, it remains unclear if Coca-Cola will make the change across all its products, or just a few specialty lines. Teza Phillips, PS News.
Still on international news, sadly, a medical flight ended in tragedy at London's Southend Airport, where a small aircraft crashed shortly after takeoff, killing all 4 people on board. Here's Joycelyn with details.
A tragic plane crash at London Southend Airport has claimed the lives of 4 people in what officials are calling a serious incident. The crash occurred just before 4 p.m. on Sunday when a Beechcraft B-200 Super King Air, operated by Dutch firm Swiss Aviation, went down moments after takeoff. The aircraft was a medical repatriation flight returning to the Netherlands after delivering a patient. According to eyewitnesses, the plane banked sharply, flipped mid-air, and crashed in a fiery explosion within the airport perimeter. Emergency crews, including excess police, fire service, and air ambulances, responded swiftly. On board were 2 Dutch pilots, a German doctor, and a Chilean-German flight nurse. All 4 died on impact. Their bodies were recovered earlier this week. Southend Airport was temporarily shut down, but has since reopened with limited operations. An investigation is underway involving the UK's Air Accident Investigation Branch and Civil Aviation Authority. Authorities are now piecing together what led to this devastating mid-air failure. Reporting for PS News, Joycelyn Ella Keche Ada.
The African Junior Athletics Championships in Abeokuta is proving to be a stage for rising stars, while the football world buzzes with historic shift numbers and major transfer moves. Here's your roundup of the top sports stories. Sam is on the sport desk.
South Africa wasted no time asserting dominance at the Confederation of African Athletics Under-18 Under-20 Championship, grabbing the first gold of the event and setting the pace. Nigeria followed closely with a silver medal as the battle for continental glory intensifies in Abeokuta. In the high jump event, South Africa reigned supreme, claiming both gold medals. Mathieu Leroux stood out in the under-18 boys category, clearing 2.06 meters to secure his win despite his early stumble at 2.00 meters. South Africa's Fenyo Mien showed why he is the world's fastest under-18 hurdler this year, breezing through the 110-meter hurdles heat in 13.38 seconds. His closest rival, Egypt Ashura Yusuf, trailed at 13.98 seconds. Nigeria's Emmanuel Blessing delivered a promising day 2 performance, winning the 100-meter segment of the decathlon in a personal best of 10.97 seconds. Algeria's Geta Walid Fares and South Africa Deg Cortes rounded off the top 3. Barcelona has officially handed 17-year-old prodigy Lamine Yamal the iconic number 10 shirt worn by club legend Messi, Ronaldo and Rivaldo. Yamal called the moment a dream come true, vowing to carve his own legacy at the new camp. Liverpool has made an official approach for entrant Frankfurt Hugo Ekitike, but the initial offer was rejected. Talks are ongoing and the players has already agreed personal terms with Liverpool. Meanwhile, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has terminated his contract with Al Qadisiyah, becoming a free agent. Marseille is in advanced talk with a striker for a 2-year deal. Nigerian forward Ademola Lookman is eyeing a move to Inter Milan after informing Atalanta of his desire to leave. Inter is preparing an opening bid, though the Bergamo side is holding for more than 40 million euro. This is Samuel Akpan reporting for PS News.
You just watched PSN Newsrun, streaming exclusively on YouTube. This is your trusted voice for news that matters. Subscribe, like, share, and stay informed.